embrace from every community that I came to and was part of, and I'm grateful. I'm very, very grateful for all the work that the African community has done and did through the election, and your work paid off and helped me get to be in this position as mayor. So thank you. I acknowledge you and I celebrate you. Thank you. My pastors and other community leaders, I started the campaign just being introduced to you, and so many of you have become friends, and I'm so grateful for that as well. I celebrate with you Asha Day, and it's going to be an outstanding day. I'm afraid I have other events. I won't be able to take part in the rest of the day, but a great celebration of culture, of history, and of the future as well, as you look to the future together with optimism. And I see this theme, which is just a wonderful theme, building a peaceful environment and unity. You may or may not know that in 1972, 50 years ago this year, Winnipeg, what used to be a small little city, became a much larger city. Because what happened is the city of Winnipeg amalgamated with 11 other municipalities and cities around it. So Transcona used to be its own city. St. Boniface was its own city. Charles was its own city. St. James its own city. In 1972, they united, came together to become what is now Winnipeg. Then it was called Unicity. They did so because we knew together we're stronger. Together we can do more. Together we can achieve great things. A house divided against itself cannot stand, correct, Pastor? But together you can stand. And the theme of my mayoral campaign was uniting to build a stronger Winnipeg. And when I look upon this wonderful city of Winnipeg, we are a beautiful mixture of diversity, uniqueness, but together, when we bring all of that beauty and uniqueness and diversity together into one, and we harness our collective commitment to one another and to building upon our foundations, we can accomplish great things as a city. And I believe that. We can't do it alone, but we can do it together. And so today, as you talk about and celebrate creating a peaceful environment in unity, I commend you for that, because that's really the theme of our city, and certainly for me as the new mayor, that is my commitment, that we come together to be stronger together for our children and for our grandchildren. We're building a city and a community not for just ourselves, but for the children. I look at the beautiful children that are in this room. We are making decisions as adults for their benefit, to make their community stronger in the future. But to do that, we have to make sure that we maintain and understand our respective cultures and celebrate them. So I think this is a wonderful, wonderful day before you, the Asha Day, to celebrate culture, to celebrate storytelling, to celebrate dance, to celebrate not only the past, but the future as well. So thank you so much again. It's great. And there we go. My time must have been up. There we are. Thank you. Enjoy your day.
Please, another big hand for Mayor Scott. This DJ wants to tempt me to dance. I don't dance before 2 o'clock on Saturday.
Yeah. If you dance, it might cost.
Yeah. Let's skip it.
Let's skip it.
All right, we're going to move along. If you fish out the programs on your table, if you go through, you'll see the flow for today. So just relax. We will ensure that we take things in their stride. You can be sure of one thing. Elo fokonbale. All right? It's going to be a beautiful day. We have quite a number of dignitaries here today, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And if we tried to go through every single person in this room, we wouldn't leave. I would like to start by acknowledging one of our fathers here who 14 years ago started the Afro-Caribbean job fair out of his house. You know him. We all know him. Please, I'd like you to please help me celebrate Chief Jim Ogunoike, who is here today. Chief, please, can you put your hands together real good? Thank you so much. We also have the couple that you can easily spot as a power couple here today. You don't need to look around for too far, too wide to see that today we have Mama Oge Omolola Omoni here today. It's great to have you here with us today, ma. Eshe goni, ma. And of course, ably supported by Otumba Engineer Ade Omoni. Thank you so much, sir. Eshe goni, sir. Thank you for honoring us with your presence. Also, we have the president of Egbe Omo Yoruba, Bumi Ogungbemi, here today. Please celebrate him. Thank you so much. Too many names to go through.
Yeah, and we have the president of ACOMI, Mrs. Titi Tijani. Let's celebrate her, please. Thank you very much, man. So I think the president of NAMI, Reverend Wilson Akinwale, just stepped out, but he's fully here in person. And we also have someone very important here. I think he also stepped out, and that is Pastor Fela. He's the pastor of CAC Vineyard of Comfort. That is where we are right now, this venue. He stepped out, and we also have with us today the national chairman of Okin International Club, Babatunde Busari. Can we give him a round of applause? He's the one wearing filabi. We call that cap filabi. Tiaja is one of our asha, is one of our culture. Yeah. And finally, I have the pleasure to invite James Beeson. He's actually here with us in person. He is the MP, Selkirk Interlake Eastman. And we just want to invite him now to take his speech. A round of applause for him, please. And while James is coming in, I just have Pastor Fela come back to his seat. That's Pastor Fela. A round of applause for him. And that is Reverend Wilson Akinwale, the NAMI president. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. Indeed an honor and a pleasure to be able to join all of you here on Asha Day. I want to thank Dr. Joby and Bunmi for making sure I came out today. I'm bringing greetings on behalf of our leader, Pierre Poilievre, the leader of the official opposition in Ottawa, and the leader of Canada's Conservative Party. And I'm also bringing greetings on behalf of not just the Conservative Caucus, but all my fellow parliamentarians in Ottawa, especially that represent the 14 ridings here in Manitoba. You know, this is a great time that we can come together, you know, after taking the break because of COVID, and celebrate the Aruba culture, to celebrate where everyone came from in Nigeria, and celebrate all African cultures for that matter. Each and every one of you are making a difference here in Winnipeg, in Manitoba, and in Canada. You're making us stronger and a better nation. You know, the Prince was talking about the importance of protecting culture. And so many countries that you travel to around the world, they are a melting pot, where they take all the cultures and mix them together, and you know, essentially you lose that identity to become the person of that country. I often look at Brazil as that example. But here in Canada, we celebrate our individuality. We celebrate each other's cultures. And that's why I'm happy to be here to celebrate this culture from Nigeria that has rooted itself in Winnipeg and in Manitoba. It is through this diversity and inclusion that we all become a better country. So many of you are proud Canadians, by choice. You have decided to make Canada your home. And because of Asha Day, we all get to come and experience and enjoy the Yoruba culture. I want to thank all the organizing committee and all the different organizations that are making today here possible so that we all can come together, especially after the 2 long years of COVID, and fellowship and celebrate and really plan for the future. I congratulate the Nigerian community on establishing the Aruba Cultural Museum and actually having a place where people can come and see the artifacts on a daily basis, not just at, during Asha Day or during Folklorama. We can actually go any day of the week to the museum and learn more about the rich contributions that each and every one of you and your entire community is making to Manitoba. So again, on behalf of all my colleagues in Parliament, every one of us that fly back and forth to Ottawa every week, thank you for putting on Asha Day and celebrating the Aruba culture.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes. So we are gradually gliding into the program, and I believe that very shortly we will soon stop all this finting that, we've been saying. I'm just trying to manage my tongue since, and I'm sure, Already. So right now we are gradually moving into the program, like I said, and we have a story. Yoruba has its history. We have a foundation. I've heard a lot, different versions, and I believe right now we are going to hear the original version about Yoruba. Where did we come from? I've heard we came from Obatala, he came from the sky. It's a whole lot of story, history. And I tried to bring it all together, and unfortunately, because I wasn't in that era, I do not have any understanding of that. And we have someone in-house today to tell us how we, the Yorubas, where we came from, our foundation, what we believe is our history. And I have a visual storytelling here from our uncle. We call him Uncle Segun Olude. And he's going to tell us the story from the sky to the earth, the Yoruba story. Please join me to welcome, with a round of applause, Uncle Segun Olude.
I'm glad to be here. Good afternoon. While I set up, I promise you this is just water. But the reason it's in a flat bottle is because it can sit here and not roll off. So this is water, not vodka. Today, we're gathered here to learn from one another, remind ourselves of the stories that we know, and also reflect on what it means to be a Yoruba person. I'm going to launch my presentation now, so cue, please. Thank you. The Yoruba, who are we? Where did we come from? There are two stories that are prevalent in history books. For those who like the myth, we have that. And for those who like the historical one, we also have that. To assist me today, I have somebody who would introduce himself in a second, because he will be helping me out with Yoruba, as I'm not very good with it, and I'll tell you why.
Orúkọ tèmi ni Tolú Owóọlá. Mo kí gbogbo wa káàbọ̀ sí ibi ètò tòní. A ṣe é ṣe fún wa o.
I asked a question once, and I did not get a response.
Wọ́n ní wọ́n béèrè ìbéèrè, a dẹ̀ dá wọn lóhùn.
Not from this room, but from someone else.
Oh, okay. Láti ọ̀dọ̀ èèyàn kan làwọn ti béèrè ìbéèrè yẹn, tẹ́niyẹn ò dẹ̀ rí ìdáhùn.
We hear about the Yoruba people. We say we're from southwest Nigeria.
Pé àwa ọmọ Yorùbá, pé a wá láti ìsàlẹ̀ ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà.
Please, if you can do a better job, don't fail to help us out. We're very open. Thank you. So, when you look on the map, on the screen, you will see the outline of the edge of Nigeria in the west.
Wọ́n ní tẹ́ bá wo àwòrán tó wà lórí amóhùnmáwòrán pé ẹ máa rí pé apá ìsàlẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ àlàáfíà ni Yorùbá ti wá.
When I asked the question, everybody thought Yoruba land was just in Nigeria. But Yoruba land extends across West Africa.
Wọ́n ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ó já káàkiri, ó jáde, ó rí jákèjádò ní ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀.
And as we investigate further, we find Yorubas in the Caribbean, we find them in Brazil, we find them in places like Cuba, we find them also in Europe, in different places, and we start to wonder how and why.
Wọ́n ní àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá, wọ́n wà ní Cuba, wọ́n wà ní Brazil, wọ́n wà ní oríṣiríṣi ìlú tí wọ́n ti dárúkọ yẹn pé kì í ṣe ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà nìkan làwọn ọmọ Yorùbá wà.
So my story now begins. As someone who grew up in Lagos, Nigeria, to Yoruba parents, and yet all my schooling, all my life was in English.
Ìtàn wọn dá lórí bí òye tí wọ́n ṣe rí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ tí wọ́n bí sí ìlú Èkó, tó dàgbà sí ìlú Èkó, tó dẹ̀ ka gbogbo ìwé tó fẹ́ kà nílùú Èkó kó tó wá sí ìlú wa níbí.
Like many of you, the schools that I attended discouraged speaking our language.
Wọ́n láwọn iléèwé táwọn lọ kò fi àyè kò tiẹ̀ gba ènìyàn níyànjú láti sọ èdè abínibí.
So when I had the opportunity to make a presentation about world cultures, I conveniently did not mention the Yoruba tribe.
Wọ́n ní nígbàkúgbà tí wọ́n bá ní tí àyè bá gbà wọ́n láti ṣe irú nǹkan táwọn ń ṣe pé wọn ò tẹ̀ wọn kì í sọ̀rọ̀ lọ sí àṣà àti ìṣe.
Because I had no knowledge of the Yoruba culture.
Pé wọn ò tiẹ̀ ní nínú ọkàn wọn ò ní ìmọ̀ àṣà àti ìṣe ilẹ̀ Yorùbá.
So someone asked me, you told us about the Jews, you told us about the Aborigines in Australia, you told us about the indigenous peoples of Canada, but you never said anything about your own tribe. Why?
Wọ́n ní àwọn èèyàn sọ fún wọn pé ẹ ti sọ nípa àwọn Aboriginal, ẹ ti sọ fún wa sọ ìtàn àwọn Jew, ẹ tẹ̀ sọ ìtàn kankan nípa ti Yorùbá tó jẹ́ pé ìtàn ti yín gan alára.
So, in 2013, the journey for the search for Yoruba culture started.
Wọ́n ní ọdún 2013, ìrìn àjò láti wá àṣà àti ìṣe ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ó bẹ̀rẹ̀.
Just 1 second, please. Did the screen go off, or is it me? Okay. Sorry about that technical glitch.
wọ́n ní kẹ́ má bínú wọn tọrọ gáfárà.
So the journey started for me, and I'm going to go through this. I would love for you to keep your eyes on the screen and listen. Perhaps you'll be reminded of some of the things you already know. Perhaps you would help us out today by adding to the story. This is not just my presentation, it is our presentation.
wọ́n ní wọ́n rọ̀ wá pé bá a ṣe jókòó ká máa bá wọn fọkàn bá ìtàn lọ ká sì máa wo amóhùnmáwòrán tí wọ́n ṣe máa ṣe lẹ́sẹẹsẹ fún wa.
Thank you. So we came from a place. At this time, we know we're everywhere.
a wá láti ibì kan a dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé a wá láti ibi gbogbo.
We started from Yoruba land,
a bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti ilẹ̀ Yorùbá.
and through migration and slavery, we ended up in different places.
gẹ́gẹ́ bí a ṣe ń rìn káàkiri a bára wa níbi gbogbo níbikíbi tá a ti bára wa.
When you look at the world map on the screen, if I marked every spot where Yorubas are, we will fill the whole world map.
wọ́n ní tí ẹ bá wo máàpù orí ti àgbáyé pé tí wọ́n bá fi àmì sí gbogbo ibi táwọn ọmọ Yorùbá wà ẹ máa rí wọn ńbẹ̀.
Yorubas are everywhere.
àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá wà níbi gbogbo.
We have made home in places where we are welcome, like here in Canada.
a ti sọ gbogbo ibi tá a dé la sọ di ilé fúnra wa níbi tí wọ́n ti kí wa kú àbọ̀ tí wọ́n sì ṣe dáadáa sí wa.
But we cannot deny that we had slave trade that took us to foreign lands without our will.
wọ́n ní a lè jiyàn pé wọ́n ti akópa ọ̀ a jẹ́ alábàápín nínú ètò òwò ẹrú tí ó sì jẹ́ pé ó ní í ṣe lára ìrìn àjò wa. so màá ní sùúrù fún wọn kí wọ́n lè ṣe kémi náà lè ṣe àtúpalẹ̀ lérèfé nígbà tí wọ́n bá ṣe tán.
We were taken across waters, enslaved in foreign lands. This happened. It was said in the story of the Yoruba that the first land was spread by the chicken over the first waters in its quest for food. As the land grew larger, it was able to sustain land. We Yoruba are descendants of Oduduwa, or Omo Odua, as we are called. The Yoruba creation narrative passed on through oral tradition says that Olodumare, the supreme God, placed the Yoruba at Ile-Ife straight out of heaven. Olodumare sent Obatala down to earth with a small calabash containing some soil and a small bird, chicken. When Obatala arrived on earth, there was no place to land because the whole earth was covered with water. Obatala took the soil out of the calabash, poured it on the water, and created the first land. He then took the bird out of the calabash and placed it on the mound of earth. As the bird scratched for food, it spread the soil with its feet until land became wide. Obatala was unsure of the firmness of the land, so he went back to heaven. Alagemo, and I'm shortening this story, another deity was sent down to test the land. When he got back, he told Olodumare that the land was broad and firm, and he was able to stay on it for a while. Olodumare named the land Ile-Ife, Ile-Fife, the wide land, and sent Obatala back with another calabash filled with 16 elders to populate the land. But he got drunk on the way, the story goes. Isn't it interesting that the elders were sent first? Seeing this, Oduduwa took the calabash from him and brought the first inhabitants down to Ile-Ife, the cradle of Yoruba civilization. Though this myth has a few variations, it is still the most common and widely accepted origin story of Yoruba. What you see on screen is a visual creation of this story by a friend in England, showing the chain that we all descended to earth from. But in truth, historians have traced the Yoruba tribe all the way somewhere in the Middle East. We don't know specifically where. Some say we come from the direction of Mecca. But we know that we come from somewhere in the Middle East and migrated into Yoruba land. And we brought some of that culture with us, and we'll see it in the similarities as we go. The bird scratched for food, spread the soil with its feet until the land became wide. The trees grew on this land and provided shade and fruits not long after the land was formed. The trees provided food, shelter, and medicine. Tree, Igi, became the symbol of the Yoruba family. The tree symbolizes strength, family strength. So often you'll hear people say, Idi, Igi, Wolotiwa, in your family, because we all spring from that one tree. Plants provide food and medicine. Flowers beautify. Barks, leaves, fruits, and seeds are medicine for the healthy and for the sick. Doesn't matter whether you're healthy or sick, vegetation provided all we needed for a healthy life. The land was blessed and still is. Yoruba land took care of her children. The earth, Ile, is important to the Yoruba. It is the ground we build on, walk on, farm on, bury our dead, and we return to it when we die. Ile provides us with everything we need. We not only respect it, but Ile is also us. Therefore, we are Eniyan Ile, earthbound people, different from the deities of Orun, the heavens and the abodes of the gods. The place where we go when we leave this earth is Orun, the heavens. Old or new, we Yoruba respect our sacred places, forests, rivers, and mountaintops, regardless of what faith we belong to. For several generations, the earth, Ile, has given us all we needed to build. We built homes, we built shelters. Ile gave us all we needed, from pottery that we made out of clay. We fashioned earthly homes and make hiding places for our valuables. We Yoruba people hide our valuables and bury our dead in the earth and say, Wanti ba ile lo, meaning they have gone down into the earth. The Yoruba philosophy clearly defines what belongs to the earth and what lives in heavenly realms. The earth is what we call the marketplace, and we depart to heaven after death. Life, death, and everything is one to the Yoruba, as often they believe in interaction between earth and heaven, between both worlds. We make fire in earthen enclosures and cook with earthenware made of clay, again from Ile. Our condiments are ground with granite stones in Olo, and our yams pounded in mortars carved out of the tree trunks. As you see, Everything the Yoruba needed was provided from the start.